Welcome back. In the following video, I work on 6 puzzles on chess.com, and initially I had planned on editing it like I normally do, where I just cut out some gaps and leave a long video, but I'm going to edit it differently this time for 2 reasons. 1, I did pretty poorly on several of the puzzles, and 2, I got distracted by various things, including my own emotions. So this one will be edited much more severely than my normal videos. And I hope you appreciate that I left out a bunch of junk from this video, and I also hope that you get something out of it. Like I usually say at the end of my videos, I do appreciate you spending your time here. Let's just switch over there now. I'm about to go on vacation for a few days, plus it's my anniversary and one of my kids' birthdays is coming up, so there might be a gap in which there are no videos uploaded on my channel, and that might be just before this video, so if so, I'm back from all that now, yay. If you're new to my channel, I'm not a titled player or a chess coach, I'm just a random person trying to get better at chess, and one way that I do that is trying to solve puzzles, but I do have this rook that looks like it hasn't moved at all in the entire game, and it can check here. I'm going to look for checks first. I'm just going to try it. Okay, it was that. They did come forward as I suspected. I don't know, that's complicated. I'm going to check with the rook again on f5. Okay, it did come that way. I don't think the king's going to move over one because then I have not quite checkmate because they can block with their queen, I mean. It could also come forward, and if it comes forward, then I check in between, protected by the bishop, and win their queen. Here, I would take with the bishop, and then I would be a piece ahead. But I don't think I have a mate here. I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, this one was harder than I thought. Okay, I'm gonna play here, and then I don't know what to do after that, and that's pretty difficult to calculate, so I'm gonna check here. Oh, they did take. Okay, so I'm just a piece ahead. Wow, that was all about winning a piece. That took about 5 or more minutes on my end, and that was complicated, but I'm a piece ahead now. Next. Well, there are 3 ways to get out of check. One is to capture the checking piece, which I cannot do in this case. Another is to block, which I can do 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways. The cool thing, I guess, about blocking with the bishop is that that is a double check from the queen and the bishop, but I don't know why they wouldn't just take it. Getting out of check is also a possibility. I have 1, 2 ways to get out of check. Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm going to pull the bishop back is what I'm going to do. Oh, it was that. Okay. And now I don't know whether to take the bishop or check again. Oh my. Okay, maybe it'll be easier to see from here. If I check again, my queen is cutting off all of this and all of that, so they would only have the one legal move. They would have to go to f2. And then if I checked again, so their bishop can't see my queen because my bishop's in the way, and my queen would be cutting off all of these squares and protected by the bishop and these squares, so the king would have to go to e1. Maybe there's something there that I just can't see from this angle. Oh my. And it was going forward. Okay, so they only left with one legal move, as I said, so it had to be this one. It's a mate in 2, really, because they have to go to E. Oh, wow. We figured that one out. Next puzzle. But I think it's not my only check. I also have this check over here, rook to d7, protected by the bishop, but then they just move one way or the other. If they move into e8, then I think it's mate with the knight over here to c7. Okay, so if I check and they move this way, then I can check with the knight over here on b6, and they have to go one further, and then I come back and that's mate? I'm probably missing something, but I think it's this, and then this, and then this. I think this is checkmate. Oh, wow, and that one's rated 2200. Oh, and I get 18 points? All right, I'll take it. Next puzzle. I do have a couple of checks in this position. I don't think either of these checks is good. If I check over here or over here, I was going to say they could take the knight, but my rook's protecting the knight. Okay, then what happens if I check with the queen on c6? They have 1, 2 legal moves. If they choose d8, then I think I would have checkmate. But what if they choose f7? Wait, those aren't my only 4 checks. For a second, I was thinking those were my only 4 checks, but those are not. I can move the knight someplace and that's check. And that prevents the king from coming out here to f7. So then the question is where to move the knight. Let's see, here, here, and here. Which leads me to believe that it's probably c6 because that cuts off one of those legal moves. Okay, if I check with the knight to c6, they have to come toward it. Then I can check with the queen here on d5. The king cannot go back because the rook is guarding that file, so it would have to go in behind the knight someplace. Oh, I just don't know which way to go. I'm going to try knight to c6. Well, okay. Not having a great puzzle day. Sorry, what? You're about to get checkmated. No, oh, okay. He can take my checking piece. And that is also checkmate. So I missed a very fundamental, crucial element of this puzzle. And this one, since I only made one move, I think it will start over. So that's the problem with moving the knight to check with the rook, is that that results in checkmate. So it has to be a queen check. Well, not that one, because their rook is guarding that square. So it has to be this one, right? Okay, so queen to c6. Wait, that's the end of the puzzle? All right, well, hopefully I just edited out a long section of me staring blankly at the screen, because how was that the end of the puzzle? I'm going to the analysis board because I don't understand. And the only move, which gives me a mate in 4, it says, is to go here. Where's my mate in 4? Sorry, I don't see it. This is the, again, I already said that if they moved over to d8, I was pretty sure this was mate. Okay, I was right about that. But so that's why they wouldn't move over there. They would come this way. But they didn't, because the puzzle stopped. Now, if they came that way, then I could check on e6, protected by the rook, and that would be my fastest path to mate. But then they would go back behind they would have to go back behind the knight. Now I can check knight to c6 because my rook is going to be safe for a minute because my queen is doing the checking. So I check knight to c6, and they can't move over because of the knight and can't come up here because of the queen. So they have to block with the bishop, and that's mate. No further comment. Next puzzle. I have all my pieces, and I'm just missing one pawn. My opponent has all their pieces, and they're just missing one pawn, which is really odd. I don't think this puzzle arose from a game, and the reason I'm saying that is because their g-pawn could not have taken my e-pawn, and those are the two pawns that are missing. Neither one of those pawns could have taken each other. The only way for them to get close enough is to take something else first, and then take the other one. And my queen couldn't have taken the g-pawn where it is now, because the g-pawn couldn't have gotten over there without taking any of my other pieces. Now, someone tell me if I'm missing something there, but yeah, this is an unnatural position because the pawn that I'm missing doesn't match up with the pawn that they're missing. Well, I have a check with the bishop. I could also take the queen. The king would move back. I could check with the bishop, but then the king could just move over. Wait, I have this check here. Is that checkmate? For a second, I didn't even see that undefended pawn. I think that's checkmate. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's checkmate because they can't block and they can't take this piece and they can't move out of check. But yeah, that can't have come from a game, did it? Sometimes they list over here if it came from a game. It says custom position, but yeah, sometimes they will mention here what game it came from, but I'm pretty sure this could not have come from an actual game. I guess it's kind of possible that my queen could have taken the g-pawn at some point and they didn't take back, but then who took my e-pawn? Did I get it up here and they took it and I didn't take back and then they went back? Next puzzle. I have a few minutes left. We'll see. Okay, I'm in check again because I'm playing with the white pieces. I cannot move out of check this way, or that way, or this way, obviously, because those are covered by their rook. So I can't block or capture that piece. That means I have two choices to get out of check. Okay, I feel lost, but I'm going to go to d1. Oh, that was it. And then they went after the pawn. Well, I don't know what to do now. All right, well, my time's basically up now. I have no idea what to do. I'm going to push that pawn. I didn't think it was right. I just had to do something. Okay, analysis board. F1 was bad. It says if I had gone to F1, they would have played rook to C. Well, that's what they played anyway. Why is that bad again? They would have played here, and it would have been a draw. I would have just wanted to come back out. Well, since I went this way, which was correct, and they went over there, it had to be rook to B1. Oh, down here. I never would have thought of that. And then it says they would take this pawn and I would check them and win their rook. Wait, and then they would play king to d4? That's not what this says. Sorry, the move list for the puzzle doesn't match what Stockfish says would happen. Okay, so if I played rook to b1, oh, okay, now it's having trouble deciding. King to d4 is the best move in that. Okay, so that is what they would play in the puzzle, is king to d4. I would come here anyway, and they would take the pawn, and I would take the rook. But when I backed up, oh, now it says king to d4. Earlier it says when I played down here, they would take the pawn and then I would check. And then when they got out of check, I would win the rook. But now it says that would happen in a different order. And I have a mate in 39. Okay, so that's why I had to come down here. But if they had taken my rook, then they couldn't get their king to my pawn in time, I guess. All right, well, I don't remember what point total I made it to, but I know it wasn't very high. I'm having trouble with some of these, and I'm of the strong opinion that a lot of these recent puzzles have been misrated because they're all rated around 2,000 or a little higher, to 2,000 to 2,500, and some of them are far easier than others. Some of them feel like they should be 12 to 1,500, and others feel like they should be 3,000, which wasn't the case before. Like I said, I feel like almost all of these are misrated. But that's just one person's opinion, and one person who clearly isn't that good at chess, so take that with a grain of salt. Thank you for spending your time here. I'll see you next time.